After almost 2.5 years, the C word has finally hit our family. Braxen came down with COVID. Good morning, everybody. So after almost 2.5 years, the C word has finally hit our family. Braxen came down with COVID. He tested positive last night. He wasn't feeling good yesterday. He had a cough, so he called into work. And then I tested him and he tested negative. But then last night he spiked a fever of 101. I went in to check on him. He really wasn't feeling good. And I noticed that he was really, really flushed in the face. And so I brought in a thermometer to him and I said, I want you to take your temperature. And he was at like 101 point something. So I called Matt and Matt was like, you know what, you need to have him take a test again. So this time I went in and I swabbed his nose instead of having him do it himself to make sure that he was getting back far enough. And I swabbed his nose on both sides and gave him the test, and he came up positive for COVID last night. So he is isolating in his room at the moment. Everyone else seems to be fine in the household. So anyway, what I'm doing this morning is he's got his phone. I actually sent our Alexa into his room so he can drop in on my phone or drop in on the downstairs, because I have one in my bedroom. He can drop in on that one anytime he needs to. And I was able to check on him throughout the night that way too. I set an alarm last night for like 2:30 in the morning to give him another round of Tylenol last night. Matt's picking him up some Mucinex because he does have a cough. So yeah, so far he is the only one in the household. I'm actually going to put a mask on here before I go over by his door and just make sure that, and he has a mask to come out of his bedroom to use the bathroom, and then he's been letting me know when he uses the bathroom so I can go in and disinfect before anyone else goes in, because what they're saying is the best thing to do is to try to mitigate how many people are getting it. And granted, we all live in the household, so it can spread, but we're trying to make sure that it doesn't as much as possible. Anyway, one of the things that I'm doing is I made him, he doesn't really want to eat, and I'm like, you really need to eat and keep your strength up. So, because I know he feels like he doesn't want to eat, but he really should. So I made him 4 strips of just bacon, so he's got like protein. And bacon's something that's just easier to eat. And then I know whenever I've not felt well, and especially like when I'm running a fever, all I really want is to drink and have things that are hydrating. So I had cold applesauce in the fridge. It was actually canned applesauce. And I'm going to give him, I opened up the can, I'm going to give him that and have him eat that, because applesauce is just, it's really hydrating when you have a fever and you're not feeling well. It just feels hydrating to eat. So I'm bringing him in bacon and applesauce, because if I can get him to eat anything, that's better than nothing. And then Matt's picking him up some Mucinex DM. I gave him some turmeric because it's an immune booster. And I know my mom said give him some elderberry as well, which I'm gonna go out and get for him. That wasn't something I had in the house though, but I do keep turmeric in the house. So, and I have for several years now. Anyway, so yes, that is the update on our house and what is going on. So I'll just kind of keep you guys posted and updated. And I guess we are just going to celebrate the holiday from our backyard this year. We had plans to have a big picnic with family. We'd actually rented a pavilion to do that. We were going to do that on the holiday. So we will not be attending. Unfortunately, Braxen is having to call in on the biggest weekend of the year for his job. So yeah. And I think so Braxen doesn't miss out on everything. I'm just gonna have him open his window, and which will be good for, he needs to ventilate his room. Okay, well, I'm going to go feed Braxen breakfast. His temperature has gone down a degree, so that's good. He didn't have any Tylenol since 2:30 this morning. I got up and called him this morning when I was originally going to give it to him, and he wasn't spiking a fever at that point, so I decided to wait. And I wanted to kind of hold off on giving him Tylenol to see if, like, what his temperature is doing. Is it leveling off? Is it starting to come down on its own? And it does seem to be at this point. It's also daytime, so I know sometimes fevers can tend to get a little higher at night. So we'll have to see. We'll just kind of wait and see. I think that is probably either my mother or Matt, so I'm gonna go ahead and answer.
Smells like Twinkies. This is how I make Foodie Coffee.
Yeah, he calls it Foodie Coffee. He's using a little bit of my Twinkie coffee creamer. And then some milk, and that's what Foodie Coffee is, huh?
And then
I have some Foodie Coffee.
Yes. Anyway, this is what we're doing. We're just hanging out here at home.
have some Foodie Coffee. Taste this. Taste this. Oh no, you can't, can you?
No, they can't taste it. But yeah, we're just hanging out at home and
Foodie Coffee's so good. The right.
so today's actually normally my editing day, which I think I'm still gonna do. My brain has just not been in the game. I think I might put away a load of dishes. Actually, I think what I might do is go edit a video, keep myself in my routine, trying to stay out of my head, because because while I'm sure everything will be fine, there's always the unknowns. And so that's where I'm sitting right now. Like, that's what I'm feeling, are all the unknowns. And so one of my kids is obviously sick, and he is sick. He's symptomatic, and but I also know he's very healthy young man. Very rarely do my kids get sick. But still, there's the unknowns, and so I'm trying to stay out of my head and stay in a regular routine, be moving, just be doing things. And then there are others in my immediate family who I'm worried for. I mean, we've taken all the steps that we can and done our best, but obviously it is inevitable. Nobody stays healthy forever. But it's still, I'm just in my own head right now, and that's not always a great place to be when you're concerned and worried. So I'm going to try to do some of my normal everyday activities to stay out of my head and to keep the what ifs and the worries at bay as much as possible. I mean, I wouldn't be myself if I didn't worry deeply for my children, and for my husband and for the rest of my family. I just wouldn't be who I am if that weren't the case. So that being said, I think what I'm going to do right now is continue to keep you guys updated and let you know. You know, I don't always share every medical thing going on, but I thought this is a pretty big moment in our lives. And I just thought I would share how it goes, how things go for us and what our journey through this particular moment is. So yeah, anyway, I am going to go get some editing done. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do my normal work day. So I'm gonna edit a video and then I will check back in with you guys. I'm also gonna let Braxen sleep for a while. I gave him his Tylenol and I gave him the Mucinex D at 10:30 this morning. And so when he's due for his next dose, I'll check in on him and see how he's doing of Tylenol. I only gave him 1 tablet. It said he could take 2, but I opted to start with 1 and just see how that does for him. I always err on the side of best to start with a smaller dose and then work our way up and see how that works. If he needs the larger dose, then I'll give it to him. But if he doesn't, and his body can just do what it needs to naturally do, that's best too. So right now, I think I told you guys his fever had gone down. Yes, I do remember saying that his fever's gone down a degree. So he was running about 101, nothing too seriously high, which is good. But obviously too, a fever is showing that his body is doing what it should be doing and trying to fight off the infection that's there and that's triggering him. So anyway, I gotta get out of my head. Anyway, so those are all good things. Those are all good things that his body's doing what it should and his fever's dropped. And we'll just keep an eye on him as the day progresses and I will keep you guys updated as well. And we'll go from there. We'll just take it day by day, one day at a time. It's the most important thing that I learned years ago is sometimes you just have to take it one day at a time because that's the only way to get through the moments that are hard. So that's what we're gonna do, one day at a time. So I changed back into my pajamas, put on my slippers, some warm socks, decided to get myself cozy. I answered some of your comments. Well, actually I answered all of your comments so far. I try to do that. Like a lot of times I'll try to do it when the video comes out within like the first, I don't know, 3 hours. I'll try to answer comments. And then I'll try to do that again when the next video releases and just catch up. But every now and then. That was so weird. All of a sudden I got this notification. It's like monitor going off and everything went black. So I thought it stopped recording, but it was still, I don't know. I've been having an issue with cameras the last few days. Anyway, what was I saying? So, but sometimes when I get busy, I don't get to them right away. So usually what I'll try to do is on my editing day, I'll try to catch up and see what you guys have commented and get back to you, things like that. So if you notice, sometimes it takes me a little bit to get back to you. That's why. Why does it keep going off? How strange. Okay. I hit the display button, so I'm hoping that it takes care of the issue. I'm also noticing I'm having all kinds of issues right now, so bear with me, guys. I'm gonna try to fix something. I'm also having, okay, I think I fixed it. I had to turn the view screen. I don't always use it because a lot of times I just look straight into the camera, but I do like to have it available there once in a while to make sure things are like in the correct position. So I'm not doing something like this. See, now it's going off again. How strange. Okay, I'm gonna try to fix this. Okay. Anyway, I have no idea. Hopefully I fixed it. Otherwise, oh. I just figured out what I did wrong. I was actually, are you ready? See that? I was actually uploading videos and picked up my camera and went to recording through my phone. Oh Lord, I just messed everything up. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so I have a load of dishes in and I think I'm about ready to start editing my first video of the afternoon. A lot of times I like to get started on this by about 10 o'clock. Like I'll start them uploading in the morning, but today was just unusual with what's going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think start editing, and then, and I don't know if I touched on this before, but I don't actually normally do any filming unless it's an extenuating circumstance on the day that I'm editing videos. Like if we were gonna have storms, I might film on a day like that, or if we had something special going on, I might. But normally my editing day, I keep like an actual working day where I'm concentrating and focusing on that, and maybe doing a little bit of housework in between. So but I thought since this was kind of an exceptional day, and I kind of wanted to share what was going on here in the house, that I would pick up the camera and do that today. So now that I figured out what my issue was with the camera, how it was hooked up to my phone, and that's why the screen kept going off, makes a little more sense. But I was actually looking at some school stuff for the upcoming school year, because we are actually getting ready to head, it's July now, so we're getting ready to head into the upcoming school year in a little over a month, which is so crazy to me that the summer's going by so fast. Oh, good gravy. Braxen's senior year, starting his senior year. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna get to editing, and then I'm gonna wake Braxen up in a half an hour. I wanna just let him rest as much as I can. I wanna keep going and check on him, going in and checking up on him, but I know that he just needs to rest. I do, however, need to wake him up to have him take another dose of Tylenol, have him take his temperature, kind of check on his symptoms. Plus we need to get in contact once again with his job. So that's another thing. But yeah, that's what's going on here, and I'm gonna get some work done. So it's so weird to be masked up within the house. But when I go over by his door, I'm making sure I wear a mask. I'm just taking whatever precautions I possibly can to not spread this through the house to everyone. And then he's wearing a mask like if he goes to the bathroom and stuff like that. So just when I'm over by his door, I'm taking that precaution. He does have the air purifier working, so that's right next to his bed. So that's probably very helpful in helping stop the spread. And he had been sleeping with it by his bed for the last couple of weeks since I had shown it to you guys. So I think that's helped mitigate some of the spread in the house. Yeah, so all right, let's go do this. I may have talked about this, but one of the things I've been doing is trying to use all disposable things with Braxen. So I'm not bringing dishes out into the house and stuff like that. I think I talked about that earlier this morning, but yes, that is one of the ways that we're also trying to stop some of the spread throughout the house, because whenever there is sickness in our house, because we have such a large family, it spreads like wildfire. So we're trying to avoid that happening. And this is what we do even when there's like flus and things in the house. So to try to help from everyone getting it if possible. So, all right, I am going to go deliver a nice cold water. This is actually very cold, I'm surprised. It was sitting over by one of the air conditioner vents. It made it super cold, so that's nice for him. Anyway, I'm gonna run this in and I'm gonna give him his Tylenol. Hi, buddy.
Hello.
How you feeling? How you feeling?
Not great.
Not great. Oh. Did you eat your breakfast that I brought you earlier?
Some of it.
Oh, honey, you need to eat.
Dad wants Vicky's number, so I'm gonna text him that.
Okay, text him Vicky's number. He's gonna call her and talk to her. We put that in the fridge. That's Skylur's. No, don't eat it. I want you to take your temperature too. And then tell me what your temperature is. You need to take that Tylenol right away.
What you doing?
Text him, Dad.
Aspen's getting ready to enjoy the pool.
Oh.
How is it? Is it good?
Oh yeah.
Is it deeper?
Yep. It sounds deeper.
Is it softer?
Yeah.
Yeah, since we added that layer.
Why is it so crunchy over here? Wait, is there styrofoam all under this?
All underneath it now, so it'll be nice and soft and
God,
rocks
it's
won't poke
nice.
through.
'Cause look,
So there you go, guys. That was one thing we learned.
wait, look.
There's our bunny friend.
Where?
Right down there. Hi, bunny.
It's cold. It's cold.
Is it cold? Oh, look, there goes a chipmunk.
That's a chipmunk?
Yeah.
I've never seen one of those before. I'm just gonna full send it.
I'm gonna come down and clean out the trampoline
For now?
and move it back where it goes now that we've got the pool fixed. That is so nice. It's so much more
It goes
level.
all the way up to my neck. It goes all the way up to my neck now.
Yeah, Grail will definitely have to have her floaties in there now, huh?
She'll touch still. Oh, grab my pool floaties.
And we have a shallow end too, don't we?
Really?
Yeah, over there.
Oh, it's cold. No, this is the more shallow end.
Is it?
Yeah, that one's the deeper one. Mark, you got me my pool toys?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you have a rocky surface and you can get your hands on some
styrofoam under it.
styrofoam sheeting, it's a great way to level, and then you just kind of stack it and build it up. It's a great way to level out your yard without having to do permanent things. I'm beginning to wonder about the weather though. Look at this. We'll have to see. I know I saw a storm track notification come up, so I might want to look at the map.
Outside.
That it was warm outside?
Oh, it's warm over here.
All right, I'll go see about your floaties. And then Mom's gonna put the yard back together.